What's going on, guys? Kyle Davis here. So this past week I've been really pondering on a lot of things. I'm sorry, first of all, that I haven't been posting very much here lately. It's just everything's been kind of crazy. So this week I had a call. It was from Urgently. They had a Volvo XC40, the Recharge, I believe, and it was all electric. No power. They went on vacation for 2 weeks. They come back. Their car was just completely dead. Plugged it up all night, and it wouldn't do anything. So they called Volvo. Volvo, I guess at that point in time, got them in contact with Urgently. They sent out a tow order for this. Well, multiple companies picked up on it. They sent out 2 drivers before me who could not complete the job properly. When they called their Volvo rep, Volvo told them that if you drag this vehicle onto a rollback, because there's no power to be able to put it in tow mode, if you drag this vehicle up onto a rollback, it will void your warranty. So basically, if I would have showed up there with the thing, if I would have drug it up onto a rollback and showed up there, then it would have voided their warranty if they had any kind of motor issues or any of that case going forward. So typically what we did, we just took a regular conventional tow truck and wheel lifted the front, dollied the back, no harm, no foul. But on the way there, with Teslas, we took a couple courses at the Florida Tow Show this year, and ESA was there and a couple others, and they was telling you, the proper ways to go about doing these in these situations. There's no information, no literature out there about towing the Volvo Recharge if it has no power. So Volvo's sitting here making this claim. I mean, I don't know what these cars cost, but I know the Teslas now are getting up in 6 figures. I imagine the Volvos are probably going to, if they're not there now, they will be. So you go buy a $100,000 car, you call a tow truck company who comes out, is just trying to do their job and drag a car up onto your rollback, and it causes motor issues, and it just destroyed you just costed you tons and tons of money. So I started looking around online, and everywhere I look, it just says, it has to be towed by a flatbed. You can't tow it with the wheels on the ground, or it has to be towed with dollies, whatever. But there's very little information. There's no YouTube videos. There's nothing. I mean, there's a couple videos. It's like, okay, here's how you tow a Tesla properly. But I just started to think about this. I'm like, well, why is this such a difficult thing? And the fact is just nobody knows. But the ones that do know, they're not active in the YouTube world, or if they are, they're not popular enough for anybody like me to see it. So when I start to Google how to tow one, the only things that I get is how to tow with one. So if I was pulling a trailer with my electric vehicle, that was the information that I'm getting. So what I want you guys to do is not only to hold me accountable, but to hold the industry accountable and these car makers, because they're saying, Chevrolet's going completely electric. All these other companies already have or have plans in place to go fully electric. The government's pushing it. The news channels are pushing it. Everybody wants us to go to an all-electric vehicle. Well, I want to know what we can do to learn and be able to inform everybody as much as we can about towing these things, and what we can do to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row, because it could cost your company a ton of money if you're out there, or cost yourself a ton of money if you go out there and you screw this up. So, for example, like when we were in Florida doing the tow show, they explained to us that you are responsible for knowing the proper ways to handle these vehicles. So if I go out to a accident scene, pick up a vehicle, take it to my yard, put it in the lot with the rest of the cars, and it catches on fire and burns down acres and acres of land, I'm accountable. So I'm the one that has to cover for that, or my company, I guess, so to speak. So, but that information is just not readily available to us, and nobody's out there showing us the proper way. Granted, now you can go to some of these tow shows, fly out to wherever these places are. Or you can have ESA or somebody come in and teach you how to handle some of the emergency situations. But in a case like what I had, aside from, if Volvo wouldn't have told those people, hey, don't do that, whenever they called, if they would have just done like your normal everyday person, was like, hey, my car's broke down, I'm going to call my own tow truck and have it taken over there. I mean, nobody would know. I mean, there's no information. Like, at least with Tesla, you've got a manual that says, hey, do this, do that. Here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. But why is all these other manufacturers not doing it? Because the details on a Tesla is very greatly explained from what I feel like. I mean, there's a whole manual to read. But I don't see that across the board with all these other ones. And now you've got big vehicles like the Hummer. And yeah, you can skate it or do whatever the case may be. But I mean, you're putting 4 skates on a car and you're guaranteeing that an operator, unless you just got guys that's been doing this a long time, which I know that's the goals, but let's be honest. I mean, you're going to have a lot of newer entry-level people and eventually every car we tow, I mean, you're going to get multiple electric cars a day, because right now I tow personally between 10 to 15 cars a day myself. So if they're starting to, 2035 or whatever, so in the next decade, they're not going to be allowed to sell gas vehicles. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's what they're claiming. So that means more than half of what you get is going to be electric cars. So I just wanted to jump on this first and start being able to explain, see if I can get answers from these places to where I can learn for myself, and then to be able to push that information over to you guys. So what I would like for you guys to do is just comment down below. Tell me what resources you guys are using. Tell me, the things that you've encountered. Comment, the situations you've ran into. I want to dig into into all of this stuff. I want to ask questions. I'm going to start reaching out and calling these manufacturers, and I want to know, how we can get these answers on what we could properly do. Because voiding the warranty on a $100,000 car is not something that I'm in the business of doing, and I'm sure you guys don't want to do that either. So I'll show you guys some of the stuff that I know. We can walk through some of the Teslas, how they connect and disconnect and things like that. But I really want to get the knowledge out there, so that whenever somebody like me runs into that situation, they can go to their YouTube and say, oh, what to do in this situation. And there actually be some content on that to teach us. Because I don't know about you guys, but I learned a lot of stuff that's just, random stuff that you may or may not run into again through looking through YouTube and Google searching, like how to put the cars in neutral, things of that case. So if you don't mind, just like and subscribe, comment down below, just tell me what you guys are doing to avoid any of these situations, or how you handle when you get out to these particularly new cases to us, because it's all so new. I mean, we're all green on electric cars, so what we've been doing for years and years is not going to be the same case anymore. So like I said, just let me know what you guys think and how we should all go forward as an industry to make sure that this is all handled properly and there's some knowledge put out there for us. All right, thanks again. You guys have a good day.